On October 12, 2018, in Chicago's South Side, a 13-year-old girl named Taliyah Brooks walked out of school just like any other day. She had her backpack slung over her shoulder. She waved to her friends, and she started her short walk home. But just 2 blocks from her house, her world turned upside down. A man in a gray hoodie approached her. He said he was a neighbor and needed help finding his lost dog. Before Taliyah could even process what was happening, he grabbed her arm and pulled her into a waiting van. Her phone was snatched away. Her screams for help were muffled. And for the next 3 agonizing days, the world believed she had simply vanished. But Taliyah Brooks wasn't just any 13-year-old. She was a straight-A student who loved solving puzzles. And she possessed a unique advantage that no kidnapper could ever anticipate. She knew how to hide messages in plain sight. Her captor, a man named Marcus Reed, thought he had chosen the perfect victim. He saw a quiet, shy girl, someone he believed wouldn't be missed right away. He locked her in a grim basement room with nothing but a bed, a single bottle of water, and the notebook she'd been carrying from school. He tried to break her spirit with a chilling threat. "If you try to escape, I'll hurt your family." But Taliyah didn't break. She didn't cry. She didn't beg for her life. Instead, she sat down, opened her school notebook, and began to write. But she wasn't writing a diary or a plea for help. She was writing math problems. Long, complex equations that, to the untrained eye, looked like ordinary homework. But hidden within those numbers and symbols was something far more powerful. A trail of clues for anyone smart enough to find them. Her first problem was simple algebra. If 3 times the quantity of x plus 7 equals 21, what is x? To anyone else, it was just a basic equation. But for Taliyah, it was a coded message. The answer, 0, wasn't the point. She was using the variable .x. Toyota, the make of the van he drove. She wrote another problem on the next page. Solve for y. To y plus 5 equals 15. The answer, 5, was irrelevant. Y stood for Yellow Street, the name of the road where she was being held captive. She didn't stop there. She cleverly disguised his license plate number within a geometry problem. The area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. If the base is 7 and the height is 6, what is the area? The answer is 21. The plate number was IL to 1 TJG. Every night, while her captor slept, she would silently slip the notebook under the locked basement door, hoping, praying, that someone would find it. For 2 days, nobody did. But Taliyah didn't give up. For her, hope wasn't just a feeling, it was a strategy. She kept writing, kept documenting, kept fighting back in the only way she could. On the 2nd day of her captivity, Marcus made a critical mistake. He took her to a public library. "You're going to sit here and study," he ordered her, "or I'll break your fingers." Taliyah sat down at a table, surrounded by towering shelves of books, and pretended to focus on her work. But instead of reading, she carefully tore a tiny corner from a page of a history book. On that small scrap of paper, she scribbled for crucial words: help, gray hoodie, Yellow Street. With her heart pounding, she walked over to the book return slot and slid the note inside, Another message in a bottle, cast out into the world. Then she noticed something that gave her a new surge of hope. Security cameras mounted high above the shelves. From that moment on, her every move was calculated. She subtly adjusted her jacket, making sure the school logo on the front was clearly visible to the lens. Every time she walked past a camera, she forced a smile. It wasn't a smile of happiness. It was a smile of defiance. A smile that said, "I am here. Someone is watching, and you will find me." She knew that if anyone reviewed the footage, they would see her school emblem. They would know where she went to class, and they would know who she was. That night, back in the basement, another opportunity presented itself. Marcus had left his phone on the floor, charging near her bed. Miraculously, it was unlocked. Taliyah waited, listening to the sound of his breathing until it deepened into a heavy snore. Then, with trembling hands, she grabbed the phone. She knew she couldn't risk calling 911 or texting her parents. He might wake up and hear her. So she did something else. Something only her friends would understand. She opened their group chat and sent a single emoji. A book. To most people, a book emoji would mean nothing. But to Taliyah's friends, it was a secret signal. It was the symbol they used when they wanted to plan a meetup at the library after school. One of her friends saw the message pop up. At first, she was just confused. But then, a cold realization hit her. Taliyah hadn't been at school for 2 days. Something was terribly wrong. She didn't hesitate. She called the police. "My friend just sent me a book emoji," she told the operator, her voice shaking. "I know it sounds weird, but I think she's in trouble." That single emoji was the spark that ignited the entire investigation. Within hours, police officers were at the library, pulling up the security footage. And there she was, Taliyah Brooks, smiling directly at the camera, her school jacket on full display, standing right under a bright security light. The police immediately traced the library's location, confirmed her identity, and began pulling traffic camera footage from the surrounding area. It didn't take long before they spotted it, a van matching the description, turning onto a street just a few blocks away. Yellow Street. They found Marcus Reed's address. SWAT teams mobilized, surrounding the house in the dead of night. As they broke down the door, Marcus tried to run, to escape justice. But Taliyah, still clutching his phone, shouted with all her might, "He's got my notebook. It's all in there." Officers found the notebook hidden under the mattress. They opened it to find pages filled not with teenage doodles, but with methodical, brilliant clues. The license plate, the street name, even the color of his shoes, noted as red sneakers equals suspect. Marcus Reed was arrested on the spot. He was charged with kidnapping, assault, and unlawful restraint. Faced with the overwhelming evidence Taliyah had collected against him, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Taliyah Brooks didn't wait to be rescued. She used her mind, her courage, and her unbreakable spirit to engineer her own escape, turning her greatest fears into her most powerful weapons. Her story is a testament to the incredible power of hope and the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe for more incredible stories like this. When Taliyah Brooks was finally reunited with her family, She didn't collapse into their arms sobbing. Instead, she hugged them tightly and handed her mother a worn notebook. "I wrote everything down," she said quietly, "so they'd find me." Her teachers later admitted that while they always knew she was clever, they never imagined she'd use her math skills to literally save her own life. At the press conference that followed, Detective Lopez held up the notebook for the cameras. "This isn't just homework," he declared. "It's evidence, and it saved her life." News outlets quickly dubbed her the girl who outsmarted her kidnapper with algebra. But Taliyah didn't want fame. She just wanted to go back to school. And she did, just 2 weeks later, walking back into the familiar hallways as if nothing had happened. But something had changed. In the months that followed, Taliyah became an unlikely but powerful advocate for child safety. She began speaking at schools, not just in her town, but across the state. Her message was simple and direct. Don't wait for someone to save you. Be your own hero. She taught kids how to leave hidden clues if they ever felt unsafe, turning her terrifying experience into a lesson for others. She even partnered with the local police department to create a code notebook program. It was brilliant. They gave students notebooks with blank pages and simple instructions on how to write coded messages in an emergency. Her story inspired thousands. Parents wrote letters of thanks. Teachers praised her initiative. Strangers sent messages saying, "You gave us hope." Today, Taliyah is 19 years old and studies criminal justice at Northwestern University. Her goal is to become a detective who helps other survivors find their way back. "I don't want anyone to feel as alone as I did," she says. "If I can turn my fear into strength, so can you." In her dorm room, in a simple glass case, sits that same notebook. It's not a trophy, it's a reminder. Even in the darkest moments, your mind can be your light. So, what made Taliyah different? It wasn't just luck, and it wasn't just bravery. It was preparation. You see, Taliyah had watched true crime shows with her parents, but not for the thrill or the drama. She watched to learn. She studied how victims escaped, how they signaled for help, how they used everyday objects as tools for survival. And when her moment came, when the unthinkable happened, she didn't panic. She applied what she had learned. This story matters so much because it proves that knowledge is power, and intelligence can defeat violence. Think about it. Most kidnappers expect their victims to be helpless and terrified. They don't expect a child to start calculating their way out of the situation. They certainly don't expect a middle schooler to turn algebra into a weapon. Taliyah didn't fight with her fists. She fought with formulas. She didn't scream for help, she wrote it in equations. And in doing so, she turned a potential nightmare into a powerful lesson for all of us. You don't need to be physically strong to survive, you just need to be smart. Parents often ask, "How can I teach my child to stay safe?" Taliyah's answer is always the same. Give them tools. Teach them to observe their surroundings. Let them know that even small things, a notebook, a specific phrase, even a phone emoji can change everything. Her old middle school now includes a safety strategy course in its curriculum. Students learn how to memorize license plates, identify landmarks, and leave silent signals for help. Because in today's world, Awareness isn't optional. It's a survival skill. For anyone who says kids can't handle real crime stories, Taliyah's case proves them wrong. She didn't just watch one, she lived one. And she won, not through force, not through luck, but through logic, patience, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have the power to change your own fate. Her story isn't really about fear. It's about freedom. A freedom that wasn't just given back to her, but one she earned herself. So if you've ever felt powerless, remember Taliyah. If you've ever doubted your own ability to overcome something difficult, remember her notebook. If you've ever thought, what's the point of learning this? Remember the simple equations that led rescuers to her door. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be clever. You don't need to be loud. You just need to be strategic. And sometimes, the most powerful weapon isn't a gun or a knife. It's a pencil. This isn't just another true crime story. It's a testament to the human spirit. It's proof of the power of education. And it's a tribute to the quiet courage of a girl who refused to be a victim. Taliyah Brooks didn't wait for a rescue. She created it. And in doing so, she showed the entire world that even the smallest minds can hold the biggest solutions. If you were moved by her incredible story, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, the bravest heroes wear backpacks and solve their problems one equation at a time. This is the unseen case. Thank you for watching.